A top U.S. Marine Corps commander has pledged continuous investment in Africa's security infrastructure. General Michael Langley, who is the commander of U.S. Africa Command, AFRICOM, said in an increasingly complex security environment, the United States remains a steadfast ally, focused on helping African nations chart their own path toward peace and security. Gen Langley spoke on Monday after he landed back in the U.S. following a series of high-level meetings with East African leaders. Langley was accompanied by a team of senior military officials, including U.S. Air Force's Major General Claude Tudor and U.S. Army Brigadier General Rose Karavori. At the heart of Langley's travels is a concerted effort to directly engage African heads of state, illustrating AFRICOM's commitment to a hands-on approach in strengthening regional security partnerships. During his recent visit to Somalia, Gen Langley met President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud to assess ongoing counterterrorism initiatives and the evolving fight against al-Shabaab terrorism in the region. The visit underscores a critical U.S. policy that prioritizes face-to-face diplomacy with African leaders to ensure that military and security support aligns with the needs and goals of the region. I know that sitting down with President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, his fight and campaign against al-Shabaab is going to continue. Building up at the same time and doing force generation and building up the Somali National Army is understood. It is like flying a plane while still building it. He understands that, but he's very, very optimistic that we're going to be successful, and I think also is going to be the new construct that's going to help them get there, said Langley. In these high-level talks, the general explored how the U.S. can continue to support Somalia's fight against al-Shabaab while also building up the Somali National Army, SNA, to stand on its own. While comparing the process to flying plane while still building it, Langley acknowledged the complexity of fortifying local forces but remained optimistic about Somalia's progress under President Mohamud's leadership. Beyond Somalia, General Langley's diplomatic tour took him to multiple African countries including Libya, Kenya, and the Maghreb region. Each stop reinforced the message that the U.S. views African countries as critical partners in addressing the continent's security challenges. For example, last week after Somalia, he traveled to Kenya where he met with top military officials to discuss regional instability and how the U.S. can support Kenya's security framework. Langley's approach reflects AFRICOM's broader mission of encouraging African-led solutions to security issues. While U.S. support is vital, Langley has repeatedly emphasized that African countries must be at the forefront of their defense strategies, with the U.S. playing a supportive, enabling role. This principle has been key to AFRICOM's efforts to ensure that U.S.-Africa collaborations are based on mutual interests and long-term stability, rather than short-term military gains. According to recent data from the Global Terrorism Trends and Analysis Center, GTTAC, terrorist incidents in Somalia, once among the highest in Africa, have decreased in recent years, a trend Langley attributes to both AFRICOM's sustained support and the growing capabilities of local forces. However, he remains cautious, acknowledging that al-Shabaab continues to pose a significant threat that demands ongoing vigilance and cooperation. Langley's visits across Africa illustrate a unique U.S. diplomatic push to strengthen partnerships on the ground rather than relying on remote coordination. He has consistently voiced that AFRICOM's strategy is not just military-focused but incorporates development and diplomacy as well, aligning with broader U.S. foreign policy objectives under President Biden's administration. While much attention has been placed on military support, Langley's meetings with African leaders highlight the importance of diplomacy in the U.S. strategy for combating terrorism and fostering stability. By engaging directly with heads of state, the general ensures that U.S. efforts are responsive to the specific challenges faced by each country. As Langley continues his tour of African nations, his mission reflects AFRICOM's commitment to long-term partnerships that prioritize collaboration and respect for African leadership.